We move on to our next session, which is the final panel discussion session of the day and also of the summit. And while we set the stage for the panel experts to come and enlighten all of us, let me take the time and quickly brief you about some of the points of discussion of this panel session. The next generation F&B industry, resilient, efficient, and sustainable. Some of the points of discussion which this panel is going to highlight include doing the right thing, food safety, trust, and transparency, how food system transformation is happening in India, where are we now, and where do we need to be, how technology is helping to achieve greater efficiencies in food production, regulatory framework and policies, progress, updates, and what comes next, what are some of the unique challenges you have seen in the food industry and how they are different today versus 10 to 20 years ago, and the leadership involved in transforming a growing business into a new industry, and how is technology changing the way we think about and manufacture food and beverage in India. So with that pointers, the panel is going to cover up, and I'm sure we are expecting a fantastic panel session. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without taking any further time of yours, let me welcome the honorable panel members for the panel session. Please help me welcome, joining us first in the panel with a big round of applause, Mr. Gulrez Alam, Managing Director and Founder, NBF Agro and Food Private Limited. A big round of applause to Mr. Gulrez Alam. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Sujeet Ranjan, Associate Director, Nutrition from Tata Trusts. A big round of applause to Sujeet ji. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Vinod, Jobanputra, Founder and CEO, Lalsai Dehy Foods. A big round of applause to Vinod. Vinod, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. And now, our honorable moderator for the panel, Mr. Viveck Batra, CEO, Amrit Foods. A big round of applause to Viveck ji. Viveck ji, welcome to the panel. So Viveck ji, looking forward to a great session from your side. And I'm sure with you at the helm of the affairs, it's going to be a fantastic panel. Here's wishing the panel a fantastic session ahead.
A very good afternoon to all of you. It seems they have saved best for the last, as they say. Just joking. All the sessions were great. Congratulations to all the moderators and panel members. I feel guilty because I'm there between you and your tea and after your lunch. It is understandable, the lethargy. But I promise you that this is going to be a really rocking session with wonderful panel members. I am honored and it's my pleasure to be moderating this session. So the topic was resilience, efficiency, and sustainable in food industry. So basically, it is not a thing which is, I would say, specific to food industry, but basically for survival of any industry. These are the three legs of the base of an industry. And in India, we are a diverse nation, not only in terms of our region, religion, language, but also in terms of diversity in our food and beverages. So right now what I see, food and beverage industry in India is basically tip of the huge iceberg. So there's a huge mass to be exploited under the water. And for that, there's a lot of resilience required on the part of an entrepreneur. I'm very happy that I have a very good panel here, panel members, wonderful, very well experienced. And this panel, we have two young Turks, I would say, very brave because they were brave to start their own enterprise. So I was not able to do that, so I'll always consider somebody who has started their own businesses to be really very, very brave. So here, I want this session to be a rocking session because of the panel members. And there would be good takeaways from this session. But for that, we need your participation as well. So we'll try to wind up at the earliest in case you have any question answers. And so are you ready for this rocking session? Are you? Yes. Okay, so let's rock and roll. So here we have a very interesting issues that we have to cover. So I think most important would be if Gulrez would please tell us, because he has been, what he tells me, that he has been in business since the last 25 years. So I would ask Gulrez, what are the changes you have seen in last 25 years? Over to you, Gulrez.
You asked me such a huge question. Thank you for asking. But there are a lot of answers hidden in this question. What changes have you seen in 25 years? A plethora of changes. I believe just not me who has seen, the world has seen. And I would say the biggest change, what we have seen is the way we conduct business, the way we operate, and the platforms we operate. So it's technology what has transformed over the period of time, the way of doing business, most important and critical. And most importantly, the skill set of people, which has changed over the period of time, that has not been a constant. That has been changing every year, I would say. Now that years have become rather months, how people have to inculcate new, I would say, technology platforms or the way of doing business or way of doing some operations. So the change is so rapid now, people have to constantly keep learning. That is the biggest change what I've seen in the last 25 years in whatever aspect of business what we do. So I believe it's our generation especially who have seen the transformation from being absolutely analog to having myself seen the black and white televisions to now operating on touch screens. So as you, what you've seen and being in business. Our new generation, which is coming now into business, may have not experienced that. And that is the change. And it's very difficult for them now, what has been for us, because changes have been now becoming very time crunched. As I said, the more years are passing by and the technology is getting advanced, the learning is becoming very, very fast. If you don't keep up to the pace, then you are out of the business. That is most important. So what is now seen is the modesty or the wisdom, what we call, of the old business conductors or the owners and the people who have been involved in business. They need to understand that there is a new world now altogether of the people who are working on the shop floors and the factories and the people and the consumers. They have an absolutely different mindset, and that needs to be met with what they give you as input, because they are the consumers of the future. And I believe consumer is the king and will always be. And if what they demand is what you need to create. And rather think before them what they would be demanding in the future, start creating it now and start developing it now. So this is what we have learned. So if you are in every business, a successful business owner or any person who is conducting a business, if you're not far-sighted, if you don't plan well, if you don't think about 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, it's very difficult. That's what we have done, and that is what I've seen in the last 25 years. And there are many more things I would say that this will come up with the next topic. And most importantly, I would say the last thing, that last 25 years, if you see how businesses have transformed. See, a very good example is my colleague here on the panel with Tata Trust, and this young gentleman who started a food processing company. We have not been speaking about food dehydration 7 years back. It was a taboo to eat outside 15 years back from the household. Bahar ka khana bana hai, bahar ka khana ganda hai, and still is. And we are talking about these food forums are being conducted just to promote that food industry. So there are we coming from. Where are we coming from? It's transforming, right? So the old mindset needs to change. That is what we are talking about. And this guy is talking about another level of processing. It's dehydrated fruit, right? It's another level of processing. So would somebody be told 25 years back कि हमें खाना मिलेगा, सूखा हुआ पैकेट होगा, छोटा सा 10 ग्राम का होगा, उसमें गर्म पानी डालेंगे, वो 250 ग्राम का बन जाएगा. मतलब it's like magic for them 25 years back. So this is what we're talking about today. And this is business. This is a transformation. There's a lot of things hidden. People need to transform with time and think what needs to be done in the future from the sustainability point of view as well. Most importantly, हमने 25 साल में सबसे बड़ी चीज़ सीखी है, अगर हमारे पास resources खत्म हो जाएंगे, हमारे पास जो means and withholds हैं, अगर वो खत्म हो जाएंगे, तो हमारे लिए सबसे परेशानी की बात होगी, especially in the food business. It's a consumer business and it's very important. तो sustainability, ecosystem, nature को साथ sustain करते हुए ही हमको हर काम करना है, और अगर नहीं करेंगे, तो शायद हमारी just not India, globally will be our biggest challenge. So that is what everybody is working on, and all the companies have those ESG focus areas to work upon these days, and I believe that is something what we have learned. If we do not sustain from the last 25 years of experience, is going to be a problem. You need to keep saving for the future as well. Thank you so much.
Gulrez, one question comes to mind, and that is, in last 20 years, there's a sea change, what I feel, and you can confirm or you can be against it, that there has been a sea change in psychology of an entrepreneur.
Agree.
And from being myopic, one is that previously we were risk averse. Now we are adventurous, we want to try new things, and we also are now big risk takers.
Agree.
So one is that, and the other is that now we look at long-term gains. We don't look at immediate gratification or a myopic gratification.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about that?
So a lot of things to be said. You've touched upon a very interesting topic. So people are not myopic, people are risk averse, and people want to do some bold stuff, indeed. And nobody thinks short-term profits, long-term profits. I would say people are not even talking about profits these days. Companies are running in losses and have more valuation than what they ever could think about. People are having a negative EBITDA for the last 10 years, 20 years. Take example of Amazon, 20 years of negative EBITDA, and where are we? We're talking about a valuation of almost $1 trillion. So it's not about making profits. It's all about making a change. So if you are actually making a change, is what gives you value today. It's not about profits. And people and the wealth, what bold, transformative organizations and steps are being given as a value is far more what actually their earnings would be. So bold steps as business is all about bold steps, solving a problem, and being bold is something what any business is all about. So the bolder you are, the courageous you are in business, and the most of the difficult or any issues or what you're solving with a very difficult methodology, which you simplify and do it very simply, I would say. And that is how business is conducted.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think all of us, we agree with Gulrez's observation. And Vinod, I would like to ask you, what is the way forward in this industry? How it is to be approached, what all needs to be done, what are the gaps you see in a way forward?
Thank you. Thank you, Viveck ji, and thank you, Cinex Group, to give me this opportunity. So before answering your question, I want to come to the, the three title words of this panel, like resilient, efficient, and sustainable. So honestly, I can't differentiate these three words because we can't be resilient without being efficient or sustainable. So, now for especially for the MSME or the mid-cap company, still today, sustainability is a, kind of luxury. But personally, I feel nowadays it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Without sustainability, we can't go ahead, And I can give you few examples because 3 years back, one of our, we are into the dehydration vegetables. Annually, we dehydrate around 32,000 metric tons of vegetables. So one of our customer from Norway, he asked for CO2 footprint of our dried onions. So from there, we start thinking on that. Then this is not for one product. now then we implement sustainability in each and every business decision. Then we find it is giving us, it will making us more profitable, and it is good for marketing, and obviously because we work on sustainability, so ESG goal or for environment, all things are fulfilled. Like I can give you one example, because when we dehydrate, like we need a 8 kg of onion or a 10 kg of carrot or 11 kg of cabbage to make a 1 kg of the dried products, because these all vegetables consist a lot of moisture. So when we procure from the farm to our factory, so in the transportation, we have to transport 10 kg of the product while we are getting only 1 kg. So it adds lot of carbon emission to our product. Then we start thinking, how can we expand our facilities and we can move our facilities to near to the farm. So in that way we start thinking, and it was really amazing. I started in 2014 with onion and garlic, only 2 products. Now another 25 products in my basket, and I moved to the Indore. It's a hub of the carrots, and in that way we explore a lot of things. Yeah, last year we were the first in India who sold 2 containers of potato strips to USA. That customer before they buy from the Netherlands. So these things comes just by thinking on the sustainability. I'm giving you one. These are the few examples. Now, like 2 months back, we have one, now the new project, the fried onions. So in India, for all the frying, most of the industry they are using the diesel-fired or wood-fired boilers. Then again, sustainability comes. So now the CO2 emission is there. Now we think, how can we make it more sustainable? So we start thinking on, can we use the electrical frying, but it was costly. Then we come to the induction fryer, and now we ordered, and then when we calculate, so it is more, we are saving on that. And very soon we start connecting with the solar. So it is there is no any CO2 emission or like that. So in that way, I think right now what we do, see, in Indian mentality, sorry to say, but we are a waiting guy, we just waiting. Something comes from the Western world, or some idea comes from there, then we start working on it. But now it's time to change. We have to think by our own. It is not like that, no, we have to still, now we are the developing country and still we have to wait. This is not a waiting time. Now we have to move forward, and actually हमें सिखाना पड़ेगा वर्ल्ड को कि ये चीज़ें की जा सकती हैं. Like whatever things, those in में what we have discussed here, organic farming, or some question raised from the audience regarding the pesticide residue, and we are thinking government is not doing something, or our FSA body is here. I personally believe, why should we blame to someone? Being an industrialist or being a food operator, it is our responsibility. We have to start thinking on our products. Why should we wait for someone? So this change need. Otherwise, we can't go ahead. This is my thinking here.
So one question which either Gulrez or Vinod can answer, because they are the startups. So there's always great learning and great takeaways that we can have from them. So I would like to ask them, any of them you can answer, which is of course not covered here, that what was the biggest impediment in your starting up a business? Because I think you're first generation in business. And how did you overcome that? So I'm sorry, Sujeet, I'll come to you very soon.
I would like first him to answer, and then I will support him to answer. Please go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Please repeat, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the question was that being startup and first generation, it is quite a challenging thing. So what was your biggest impediment or biggest challenge towards entrepreneurship, and how did you manage that?
I personally feel without challenge you can't grow. So challenges are everywhere. Being arranging the finance, or But main challenge which we are facing for, to find the good team or that good mindset, the idea-driven people, or this is we are facing these are challenges we are facing into, because we are based in Mahua. It's a rural kind of the Gujarat near the Bhavnagar. So this is only we are facing. Other things I don't think like there is India. We have a very good ecosystem now. Even government is very much supporting, which I personally feel they are supporting. There are a lot of subsidies are available every year. They are announcing a new subsidy for the projects and all these things. So and only one the big challenge in farming, because we are into it's dehydrates and whatever food. After all, our food comes from the farm, So farming, these farmers are very, in India we are very small farmers are there. So that's why to conduct to trace the farm produce, traceability. These are challenges. Some challenges we are facing. Nothing else. Yeah.
If I would had to answer this question, what challenges as what I had to face and see as a startup of the first generation, I would put it very simply, the mindset of that I have nothing to lose. Because if you don't have a legacy, if you don't have anything to look back and compare your first generation or before the generation of your fathers, I'm a son of a farmer, a modern farmer though, educated. But yes, I worked in the fields when I was a kid. So obviously educated. My father wanted to give good education, got my engineering done, went out, studied, whatever. At the end of the day, what you think is you've got nothing to lose. If you have that mindset, you will keep hustling and make anything possible if you don't have a fear of loss. And that's a businessman mindset. You have to keep hustling and do the best. That's simply put.
I think I must congratulate both of you for making a good success of your businesses. For me, I think the biggest impediment, if I have to start a business, would be that isko na kal kar lenge. Because we are in such a comfortable zone, we don't want to come out of that comfort zone.
एक चीज़ मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा इसमें. आज के दौर में और today's time, I would say that if आज अभी इस times में अगर आपने bold steps नहीं लिए और entrepreneurship की journey नहीं गई, मैं नहीं बोलता कि सब लोग कर सकते हैं, सब लोगों को कोशिश करनी चाहिए, लेकिन आज का ecosystem ऐसा है. So जो आप पहला question आपने पूछा था कि वो 25 years को मैं एक point और ऐड करना चाहूँगा. मेरी जनरेशन और मैं स्पेशली, नॉट हिम प्रॉब्ली, हम दोनों हाथ हमारे एक हाथ न्यू जनरेशन पे है और हम बीच में हैं और हमारा ओल्ड जनरेशन हमारे साथ है. वेयर आई एम कमिंग, मे बी ही इज एब्सोल्युटली न्यू जनरेशन. हमारे टाइम पे और बिजनेस का सब मॉडल भी यही है कि तुम धंधे में पैसा कितना कमाए. प्रॉफिट इज व्हाट वाज फोकस्ड, नथिंग एल्स. सो ऑल ऑफ द ऑडियंस हु सिटिंग हियर, आई वुड से दैट इज नॉट व्हाट इट्स हैपनिंग टुडे. आज आपका प्रॉफिट कोई पूछता ही नहीं है यार. व्हाट डिफरेंस यू आर मेकिंग इन बिजनेस, what model are you working at? You don't care about profits. People are talking about negative EBITDA for years and they're just valued, what I told you in example, Amazon or any company for that matter. So it's the value what you're creating in your business that will give you valuation. So this is, अब इस मुकाम के बाद भी अगर आप बिजनेस नहीं कर पाओ जिसमें कोई प्रॉफिट भी नहीं हो रहा, आप नुकसान में धंधा चला रहे हो, फिर भी आपकी वैल्यूएशन ऊपर है यार, मतलब मतलब बेगरती होगी. मतलब करना चाहिए, अब तो करना चाहिए यार. There are people who are supporting you, there are banks who are supporting you, there are investors, there are angels. दुनिया को पता नहीं था पहले एंजल, सब लगता था कि एंजल ऊपर से ही आती है, अब लेकिन वो एंजल इन्वेस्टर भी आ गया है और वो अब इतने सारे राउंड ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट्स भी आ गए हैं. और मतलब देयर इज अ इकोसिस्टम व्हिच हैज बीन नाउ क्रिएटेड ग्लोबली, जस्ट नॉट आउटसाइड इन द वेस्ट व्हाट यूज्ड टू बी. आपकी इंडिया में इतने एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, इतना अच्छा इकोसिस्टम है, गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट कर रही है कि यार धंधा करो, मतलब क्रेडिट दे रही है स्टार्टअप्स को. और मैं समझता हूँ कि कोलेटरल फ्री क्रेडिट मिल रहा है. कभी किसी ने सोचा नहीं था कि यार मैं किसी चीज़ की गिरवी रखे बिना कोलेटरल के बिना लोन लूँगा 50 लाख 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ का. व्हाट एल्स डू यू वांट? मतलब अब धंधा करने के लिए तुम्हें प्रॉफिट भी नहीं चाहिए, पैसा सरकार भी दे रही है, इको सिस्टम भी क्रिएटेड है, लोग पैसा डालने के लिए तैयार हैं. अब अगर कोई बिजनेस नहीं कर सकता तो मेरे ख्याल में कभी भी नहीं कर सकता, सोचने भी नहीं चाहिए उसको. यू शुड नॉट इवन थिंक अबाउट इट.
Right. I think we fully agree with him. Isn't it great to play with other people's money? I think that's a big confidence or support. Okay, now coming to food industry in general and dairy industry in particular, there is a huge trust deficit in consumers' mind. So coming to trust, I think there won't be a better person to talk about it than my dear Ranjit, who is from Tata Trust, a Tata Group enterprise, which Tata have always considered to be the most ethical companies in India. So I think over to you, Ranjit.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, Sujeet. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So I'm Dr. Sujeet Ranjan and I represent Tata Trusts. So Tata Trust is a kind of the trust of the family, and all the trusts came together and became the Tata Trusts. So I represent that, and I'm heading the nutrition theme of Tata Trust, and primarily the focus is how we can engage ourselves in a very meaningful manner, because the good food, good nutrition can make a difference and can change the present as well as the future generation. So for that, Tata Trust is committed and working very closely with the civil society organizations, working with national and state government, and as well as various private players. So, because we believe that in our country, the greatest treasure is our people. So how I was listening to the my panel members, like how we can provide the quality food to the people, but here the Tata is primarily for the children, mother and child. So I am representing the Tata Trust nutrition wing primarily for mother and child, and that's the very important areas, because in our country, like based on the recent data of National Family Health Survey, there is a alarming situation when more than your 30% children are stunted, and more than 38% children are underweight, and more than 19% children are severe acute malnourished. So this is a very different scenario, and almost 67% children are anemic, more than 50% women are anemic. So why it is so, and what is the solution? So we understand that food supplement is maybe the short-term solution, food supplement. And the mid-term, I can say the fortification is, food fortification is the mid-term. But the long-term is the diet diversity. How we can ensure the diet diversity, how we can ensure the the access to the quality food, diversified food to the children and the mother. So here, we supported FSSAI, and together we formed a Food Fortification Resource Center. And the purpose was how in our country, the scientific model of the food fortification can reach out to the most marginalized people. And through the social safety nets program, how the most marginalized people can have access to the fortified food, and the deficiencies of the micronutrient deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies can be taken care of. But at the same time, the diet diversity is very important, and working very closely with various players, especially the private players as well as the government agencies. There are, and you might have heard millets. We are having the millets year, and millets is a kind of is a boon. Like how we can ensure that kind of food model, millets can be available in the social safety nets program, like Anganwadi program, where the children below 6 years and the pregnant lactating mothers are getting supplementary nutrition. So how the millets-based food can be provided, and at the same time, like in the school midday meal, now it's a kind of PM portion. So through the midday meal program, how the fortified milk or the millets-based SAPs can be provided to the children. So that's and here the important role is the technical role, how the technology can play an important role, because and how at the same time, like it's important the managerial role, the functional role, functional support, managerial support, technical support, all those things are very important, so that we can ensure that they are not only just getting the food, rather consuming well, and that is going to there is a need for behavior change among the community, because lots of myths and misconception about the fortified or food or even the millets. So how best people can understand the reality and how the scientific picture can be given to the entire ecosystem. So that's the way we are trying to promote, and the diet diversity is definitely very long term, and I hope the private, this is an opportunity for lots of private players to come forward for the take-home ration, which Anganwadi centers are providing, and at the same time midday meal. So this is an opportunity, and hope together we can make a difference and change the scenario of country malnutrition situation. Yeah.
Very, very, Sujeet, very, very noble cause, I must say, which is always expected of Tatas. So now I would like to ask Vinod or Gulrez if you would like to add anything to what Sujeet just mentioned.
You want to add something to what he said? Okay, so few points. I'm sorry. So, like I had a conversation with Sujeet ji in the last panel also. So personally, I have a different mindset towards fortification. I think it's a good start to begin with, but it has to transform as well. क्योंकि हम hypocrite नहीं हो सकते. हम there cannot be two sides of the coin always which are right. एक साथ हम बात कर रहे हैं pharmaceutical से निकल के nutraceutical पे जाने के लिए, अपना immunity बढ़ाने के लिए, अपना natural vitamin intake बढ़ाने के लिए from natural stuff, and then we are talking about fortification of synthetic vitamins and minerals to the food, which may be not that bioavailable to any human, but I understand where it's coming from, and Tata is doing a noble job in that, at least to educate people and make them train and create that ecosystem for people to take those things which are required for the malnourished population, children, babies, etc. There are a plethora of things. The most important point in the previous panel which was spoken about, there was a lady telling that there has to be a different name given to nutraceuticals because people presume to be having pills. It's like pharmaceutical, I don't want to have a pill. Yes, it's the mindset of all us Indians. See, from my heart and soul, I'm an Indian, and I believe that we are the flag bearers for this. We are the champions. But why are we dwelling into what the West is teaching us? I don't know. I'm not against the West, but we have our own culture. We have Ayurveda, right? And what is nutraceuticals? Nothing but modern Ayurveda. So I give you the name lady who wanted something else. For nutraceuticals is modern Ayurveda. Nothing else but modern Ayurveda. So you need to understand what you've always been carrying. But you need to always follow the West. For what? I don't believe. So it is modern Ayurveda. You are extracting. It is all extracted natural elements of any naturally occurring herb. what is trying to be given in nutraceuticals, majority part of it. So you can call it modern Ayurveda. Similarly, we have everything what has been like modern Ayurveda. We went to found again a different way of curing ourselves synthetically, and now coming back to nutraceuticals again, which is the same thing like Ayurveda. Similarly, I'm coming back to fortification. The fortification point is it is synthetic again. You are going to be fortifying food synthetically with vitamins, with synthetic vitamins. It's not going to be bioavailable. We are wasting a lot of natural resources. However, the ecosystem which will be made, like the work what Tata Trust is doing and a lot of other agencies in India, which is not as efficiently at what Tata is doing, but they are creating an ecosystem which has to be replaced with something else. At least the ecosystem and the awareness will be created, which is very, very necessary. And I believe this is the future, because nutrition is something what is the most important thing taken in any form, which has to be right with vitamin, minerals and protein. This is the core focus for the good health and the good gut what we're talking about. And in our business and livestock, we've been talking about gut health because animals don't speak. We need to cure them through gut only, keep the gut healthy and the animal and livestock is healthy. So we are obviously now focusing that to humans, but however, it has always been there in the Unani medicine for that matter. The way I'm talking about the homeopathy or the Ayurveda, the Unani medicine and some part of Ayurveda is all about treating the gut and keeping the gut healthy and you're healthy. So the things are, we have everything. We have been there for thousands of years doing this, and people have taken things from us, giving back to us, and we are carrying it forward. We need to create our own brand identity and the business identity as Indian entrepreneurs and people who are working in this field of nutrition and food. We have to lead from the front. We are one of the largest agri-producers globally today. And we have to be the largest nutraceuticals or modern Ayurveda producers or food and value addition of food is what needs to be done in India far better than anybody else in the world. That's what I believe. And I guess the new generation, the new startups, the new people, all of them, with the help of the wisdom of the old people and trust, we'll be there soon.
I think very well added, Gulrez. So I think Sujeet touched upon a very sensitive issue and a raw nerve.
Like fortification, that's why I made it very clear.
I think it's off.
I made it very clear that to address the micronutrient deficiencies and vitamin, there are short-term, mid-term and long-term. Like supplementation is always a short-term, but fortification is mid-term. But the long-term, and that will sustain, that's the diet diversity. So that kind of awareness is there, very much needed, and then only we can go for a self-sufficient society. But so far as the fortification, this is the mandate of Government of India, and that mandate is based on the scientific, scientific judgment by the WHO, and that's why Government of India started, and Tata Trust provided that operational support.
And I'm very glad, Ajit, that people have realized that fortification is short-term.
Yeah.
So it was never spoken about, never heard about. That fortification
So
was the only key. Now I'm hearing it short-term, it's good.
Any supplementation or the fortification is a short term. We have to, like the most important, how the good food is known to the people, what is good for me and how they, that's why I mentioned about the nutrition garden. Like now, even Government of India is promoting Poshan Batika, the nutrition garden. There is a need for Tiranga Thali. We call it Tiranga Thali, like how we can understand the importance of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. So understanding is very important. And then only we can ensure that the diet diversity is there, and people are getting the diversified food. And here the private, this is the time when the private players can also understand how best, what kind of the best way we can provide the diversified food to the, in a very cost-effective manner to the community.
Thank you so much,
Thank
panel
you.
members. Vivek ji, since we are sadly out of time, I would request you to do your closing remarks, sir.
I think wonderful involvement, wonderful takeaways that we got from our three elite panel members. So on behalf of all of you, I would like to thank them for their in-depth knowledge. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, panel members. And ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for this wonderful panel on the next generation of F&B industry, resilient, efficient, and sustainable. And I would request the honorable panel members to kindly be on stage. And I would like to call on stage Mr. Purushottam Singh from Ecolab to kindly do the honors of felicitating this wonderful panel here. Can we have Mr. Singh from Ecolab? Thank you so much, Purushottam, for doing the honors. Please take the stage. We'll start with Mr. Gulrez Alam, Managing Director and Founder, NBF Agro and Food Private Limited. A big round of applause to Mr. Gulrez Alam, and thank you so much for your wonderful contribution. Moving next to Mr. Sujeet Ranjan, Associate Director from Nutrition, Tata Trusts. A big round of applause for Sujeet ji, and thank you so much for your contribution. Moving next to Mr. Vinod, Jobanputra, Founder and CEO, Lalsai Dehy Foods. A big round of applause to Vinod ji for his wonderful contribution in the panel. And would like to felicitate our honorable moderator, Mr. Viveck Batra, CEO from Amrit Food. A big round of applause to Mr. Batra for wonderfully moderating the panel session. Would request the panel members if you could come forward for a group photo.